Hello, namaste. Get the flesh out from underneath your sits bones. And we just begin to settle. Inhale, rolling the shoulders forward and up to the ears. Open mouth, exhale, they draw back and down. Inhaling forward and up. Open mouth, exhale, back and down. And one more time, forward and up. And open mouth, back and down. Letting the eyelids softly close and letting the spine grow tall through the very top of your head. We begin to breathe. See if you can take your mind's eye to the heart center and just notice the center of the heart as the breath passes over it on the in-breath, lifting. And on the out-breath, the heart stays gently lifted even as the prana descends, the breath descends all the way down into the pit of your low belly. And just getting acquainted with any tightness or spaciousness or sensation that you might be holding around your heart center or your chest as we consciously breathe into and through that space. The physical seat of compassion in your body lies at the heart center. So just see if you can first shine some compassion back in towards yourself for whatever difficulty might be presented to you at the moment. Even with the greatest silver linings, there is still some difficulty for everyone. So we just take a moment to acknowledge that with an inward, softer gaze. For just 3 more here, feeling the breath pass over the heart center and shining that light of compassion back in towards yourself. And from here, just take your right palm over the center of the heart and your left palm over the right one. Feel your heart lifting on the in-breath. And feel that there's a little lift maintained even as you exhale. So from here, just go ahead and change the cross of your legs, and we're just going to do a little bit of massage around the sternum. So you can just take 2 or 3 fingers. Your sternum is right here, and then there's these like softer, fleshier rib spaces on either side of the sternum. So just circle your fingertips into that space. And just notice if there's any tension holding there. For most of us, there will be something. Good. And then start to circle the fingertips up. You can sort of feel that little divot, that fleshy divot where it meets the bone, and massage into that space. Finger cramp. And then coming up to this space between the collarbone and the first rib, and just starting to walk the fingers wide. You can sort of walk all 4 fingers, or you can circle, whatever. Just get a massage into that space all the way out to the shoulders. There's a lot of tension that gets stuck here in times like this. So we'll move the chi with a deeper breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. If you find a sweet spot, stay there, in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. And one more time, in through the nose. And then open mouth, exhale. Good. From here, go ahead and release the fingertips behind you. Draw your heart forward and lift up through your chin. Turn the palms to face up towards the sky on an in-breath. And as you exhale, wind the arms up over the head and then down in front of you. Chin drops to the chest. Inhale, arms lift up and reach back behind you. And exhale, roll over the sits pose, C curving the spine, reaching forward through the fingertips. For one more time, inhaling, wide open heart, and just pause here, stay for a single breath, and pretend somebody's pulling your wrists back behind you, but your heart keeps leaning forward for one more breath. Good, and inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, hinge it forward. So from here, we're dropping the chin in towards the chest and continuing to reach from the shoulders forward through the fingertips. Feeling the stretch now in the back of your heart, that broad space between the angel wings on your back body. Lean into that. And maybe you reach your fingernails just a millimeter more forward in space for one more breath. Good, and inhale as you rise up. And exhale, release the hands to the sides. Let's come into an all fours position, hands and knees. However you want to get there is fine. Spreading wide through your fingertips and seeing that your wrists line up right underneath your shoulders and the pointer fingers are parallel to each other. Couple cat and cows. Inhale, open the heart, look up to the sky. And exhale, slowly rounding. Inhale, belly down, heart open. And exhale, slow rounding. And one more time like that. Inhaling, wide open heart. Exhale, squeeze out the stale breath. And then this time we're going to drop the belly down, and as you exhale, you're going to circle the rib cage over to the right and up towards the sky. So that'll be your cat pose. And then as you inhale, draw the ribs over to the left and down towards the ground, like a jump rope. Exhaling over to the right and up. Inhaling over to the left and down. And then switch directions. Exhaling over to the left and up, healing to the right and down. And one more time, a little bit slower with your own breath. Good, and then the next time that the belly drops down, walk the hands forward, a handprint's distance, tuck your toes behind you. Inhale, draw the heart forward. And exhale, lift the hips into a bent knee, downward facing dog. We'll pulse like that 3 times. Slowly float the knees down onto the ground. Inhaling, open the heart. And exhale into that bent knee, downward facing dog. And one more time, knees drop down, heart opens forward. And exhale as you lift into your downward facing dog. And then just take a moment to get comfortable in your Adho Mukha. So maybe that's bending one knee at a time. Maybe that's dropping into child's pose. Just move about twice as slowly as you might normally do, so that you can just feel what information the body is giving you. For one more complete round of breath. Good. And from your Adho Mukha downward facing dog, inhale, ripple forward into a plank. The knees can drop down onto the ground. And as you exhale, you're just going to drop your hips over to the right and down towards the earth, any amount they can touch or not touch. Inhaling, coming back to center. Exhale, swivel to the left. Hug the forearms towards each other, inhaling center. Exhaling right. Inhaling center. And exhaling over to the left. And inhaling, coming back to center. And as you exhale, lower the body all the way down onto the ground. You're going to tent the fingertips off to the sides of the sticky mat and point your elbows towards the sky. Lift your right foot, lengthen it back and lower it down. Left side lift, lengthen, and lower down. Point your tailbone now back towards your heels and inhale, curl the heart forward and up, cobra. And exhale, release it down. Leading with the right side, inhale, peel up the right side of the heart, look back behind you. And exhale as you float it down. Left side, inhale, peel it up, look back behind you. And exhale, float it down. And this time to lift and hold at center, inhaling. Soften the tops of the shoulders away from the ears, but let the crown grow brighter to the sky. Point your tailbone back in space to enlist the muscle energy from your underbelly. And then maybe you just lower down like 2 inches and then sway from side to side, dancing cobra. Or I think sometimes it's called drunken cobra, as you like. Side to side, the head just kind of follows the rib cage from one side to the other side, and it should just feel good. So feed this pose a deeper breath. One more. Puff your heart to the sky on an in-breath. And as you exhale, come on forward and down. Rising up through your all fours position, hands and knees, and coming into puppy dog. Hips lifted over the knees, hands walking forward in space. So we'll hang out here for a few breaths, but if the low back is feeling tender after that long back bend, then the soles of the feet, or the big toes can come together and the knees can open wide for child's pose, sinking your butt back to your heels. Whichever pose you've chosen, feel that the hips draw back in space and that the heart could edge almost imperceptibly forward towards the top of your yoga mat. We breathe a fuller breath for 2. And walking the hands in towards you, rising up through your all fours. On an exhale, take your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right heel up and back behind you. And exhale, bend the knee and roll the hip open. Wrap your outer right armpit down towards the ground so that the shoulders level off, even as you dangle that heel heavy behind you, right heel heavy behind you for one more breath. And inhale to re-lengthen the leg, and exhale as you place the foot right between the 3/4 of the way to the top of the mat at the midpoint of the mat. So triangle pose, you'll spin the back heel down. This is heel to arch alignment. The back toes turn in just slightly, and the right toes point 90 degrees towards the top of your mat. Okay? It's one leg's distance between the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. And exhale, open them out to the sides, hinge forward, and release the right fingertips down to rest gently on the right shin. So from here, get super grounded, you guys, underneath the base of your right big toe. Bend your top elbow like a cactus shape. Hug the belly in towards itself. So pubic bone lifting up and low ribs drawing down and in. So keep that tone. And then pretend like a strong wind blows your left elbow to the back plane of the body and press the head back in space. Unshrugging the shoulders and staying super light on the bottom fingertips for 2. One more breath. Good. Inhale to rise up, reverse triangle, and lengthen out through the front foot for reverse warrior. Exhale, sink into the front knee, glide the top fingertips up and back. Just be here for one more breath. Light on the back fingertips, one more breath. And then exhale as you cartwheel the hands down onto either side of the front foot. And inhale, stepping back into your plank pose, top of a push-up. The knees, of course, can drop down as you exhale and lower the body all the way down to the earth. And locust pulses. Arms alongside the body, flipping the tops of the feet onto your mat and wiggling back through your toenails to make the legs almost longer. And then inhale, lifting upper and lower body. And exhale to lower it down. Again, inhale to lift. Can you roll the inner thighs towards the ceiling faster than the outer thighs? And exhale to lower it down. Again, leading with the inner thighs, we lift and lower. And one more time to lift and hold for 3. Reach back through the inner big toes as you fan the pinky toenails down towards the mat, if that makes any sense to you. Good, so from here, hands come alongside the body, right underneath the shoulders, and the tops of the feet find the ground. Point your tailbone back in space and curl the heart forward and up for, again, a cobra pose. Unshrugging the shoulders, curling the base of the heart to the sky and feeling the sides of the throat draw back towards the space behind you for 2. Shoulder blades squeeze together, heart lifts for 1. Good, and as you exhale, lower it down and rise up through your all fours, walking the hands forward in space and letting your forehead rest on the earth. Again, if Balasana, child's pose, is calling to you, listen. Feeling your deeper breath pass over the center of your heart. Tune into that for 2. Good, and inhale, rising up for all fours. Exhaling, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's just find stillness for 2 deep breaths. See if you can line up your ears right between your upper arms. When you look back, you shouldn't be able to see your heels. Hide your heels from yourself so that you know your feet are parallel. And then inhale, lift your left heel up and back behind you. Exhale, bend the knee and roll the hip open. You might stay here, you will stay here, but see if you can level out the shoulders, wrapping your outer left armpit down towards the ground and pulling your outer right hip back in space. So there's some stability for your back heel to drop down the back body. We have 1 more breath. Good, inhale, float that heel up to the sky. And as you exhale, place the heel about 3/4 of the way up towards the top of the mat. And spin the back heel down for Trikonasana, triangle pose. So front heel bisects back arch and we rise up. Inhale, arms up to the sky, kneecaps lifting. And as you exhale, T-shape the arms, hinge over the left leg, and float your left hand down towards the ground, top arm to the sky. So just get your steady base for a moment. Can you push down underneath the base of your left big toe mound? And then bend the top elbow. So remember, just committing to this tone in the belly instead of the front ribs poking forward and the butt sticking out behind you. We want the underbelly zipped in and up like you're zipping up a pair of jeans, and then you're tucking the low ribs in towards the flesh of the upper abdomen. Okay, strong wind starts to blow that top arm to the back plane of the body. Sides of the throat draw back in space, and the feet are super, super rooted, so you can open your heart towards the sky. Breathe and soften the angle of your jaw for 2. And 1. Inhale as you rise up, taking the hands onto the hips and squiggle your front foot forward, maybe like 4 or 5 inches to prepare for Virabhadrasana 2. So actually we started in this reverse triangle. So front leg stays straight initially, and here you get this lengthening from your left hip to the left armpit, and the left armpit out through the fingertips. So keep that, inhale here, and exhale as you sink into the front knee for your reverse warrior. And tailbone anchors down pretty consistently, but then the heart begins to lift for 2. And 1. Light on the back fingertips, inhale here. And as you exhale, cartwheel the hands down onto either side of the front foot. And from here, we're gonna move into pigeon pose. So you're gonna take that foot and heel toe it all the way over to the right side of your mat. Outer shin to the earth. You want to make sure that your knee is not at the midline of your mat, but it's either in line with the left hip or actually slightly wider is better. And then just remember that that pulsing cobra that we did. So do that again. Tent the fingertips, curl the base of the heart up to the sky, inhale. And as you exhale, start to hinge forward and down. Maybe you rest the forehead on stacked fists. The pulse of breath, slow down naturally and just see if you can stay in the here and now. To watch the breath coming and going. Just that much. Breath and sensation take up your whole entire field of consciousness. You can put a little bit more pressure underneath the pinky toe side of your front foot for 2 breaths more. Okay, and place the hands, go ahead and rise up, taking either all 4s or Adho Mukha, lifting your bent left knee towards the sky and drawing circles in the air with the kneecap. And then the opposite direction, slow. Good. And come on back into your symmetric pose. Right side pigeon pose. Inhale, right heel draws back in space. And exhale, take the knee right behind your right wrist. Outer shin comes to the top of the mat. Square your torso forward to the top of the mat. And then again, come onto your fingertips. Boost your heart up to the sky. Those of you with a tendency to take the knee in towards the midline, scooch it a little further to the right. Puff your heart to the sky like a pigeon. 1 breath in. And as you exhale, hinge forward just halfway and pause on the elbows. Lengthening your heart forward and descending when you're ready into your full posture. Ekapada Rajakapotasana, 1-legged king pigeon pose. Let the torso drape heavy towards the ground. Can the breath grow a little bit longer and more fluid here? Can you make the pinky toe side of your front foot a little heavier onto the ground, almost as though the knee could feel lighter as you push that down? If it doesn't make sense, then don't worry about it. We have one more long breath here. Good. And when you're ready, inhale and rise up, taking your right knee up towards the sky and drawing big circles in the air with your knee. No rush. Good. And then drawing your circles in the opposite direction. And coming into your all fours position. So those of you moving into Shavasana from here for the level 1, you're just going to cross the ankles behind you, roll back through a seat, and lie down on your backs. You'll close the app. And again, maybe just play with the idea of taking it off your phone for a couple of hours. Just deleting the app for a couple of hours can feel really freeing. And you'll set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes. Those of you who are staying along for the level 2 ride, we're meeting in downward facing dog. Okay. From downward facing dog, let's just take a couple nice neat vinyasas. Inhaling forward into your plank. Exhaling, lowering down just halfway. Shoulders go no lower than the elbows. Inhale, lifting the heart for your upward facing dog. And exhaling, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. In through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, ripple the heart forward into your high plank. Exhale, lowering down just halfway. Shoulders go no lower than the elbows. Strong legs help you transition into your upward facing dog. Push down through the tops of the feet. And exhaling into your downward facing dog. One more time, ripple forward into your high plank. Strong underbelly. Exhale, lower down just halfway. Strong legs. Inhale, lift the heart, upward facing dog. And exhaling into your downward facing dog. So from here, you're going to take your right heel and kick it straight out to the right. Okay, so if you were practicing in a yoga studio and you were close to the person next to you, your right heel would hit them in their left butt. Inhale here, and exhale, tap the knee over to the left elbow. Inhale, kick it out to the side. And exhale, tap it over. Inhale, kick it out to the side. And this time you're going to exhale, tap it over. Inhale, glide the heel up to the sky. Exhale, bend the knee and roll the hip open, swiveling onto the pinky toe edge of your left foot and coming onto your right fingertips. So you can stay here, or if you want to play with hovering the right hand off of the ground and taking a couple of breaths to transition into a wild thing, taking the right toes down and opening your heart up towards the sky, breathing in. As you exhale, taking the hand down to the ground. Inhale, right heel lifts up to the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to take that knee over to the left tricep and kick it out underneath the armpit. So you're landing on the pinky toe side of the right foot. Okay? And then lift your hips up and back. Any amount. So you feel something on your outer right leg. Fan wide through the toes on the right foot and push the pinky toe blade of that foot down into the ground for one more breath, please. Good. Inhale and float that heel all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, place it to the top of the mat for Virabhadrasana 1. You're going to spin the back heel down, and again, you'll notice that the legs are not overcrossed like this, but that each leg has its own lane. Okay, and then rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. Get super firm in your outer left heel. Inhale, reach up through the fingertips. Exhale, clasp the hands behind you, strong back leg. Inhale, flutter your heart to the sky. And exhale as you hinge forward and down to your humble warrior. And we're moving. Inhale as you rise up. Exhale as you hinge. And one more time, inhale and rise. Exhale as you hinge. And then inhale and sweep the fingertips, release the bind all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to open the arms into a T and twist to the right. Many of us will spin the back heel up here, but lean forward and see if you can hook your left elbow over the right knee and take a prayer here. So try not to wing your right butt out to the right, but hug it into the midline and roll the outer right hip down to the ground, taking the hands into a prayer. Using an exhale breath, to hollow the belly in and up and look up towards the sky. Some of you might be able to open the arms to fly. Some of you might be able to come into a half or full bind. Woof. For 3. Calm face for 2. Strong back heel for 1. Good, and then reverse the warrior. Inhale as you rise up. Backstroking your right arm to the back leg, sink into the front knee and turn your left palm to face behind you. Lift and open your heart towards the sky, exalted warrior for 1 more breath. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down onto either side of the front foot, taking a vinyasa, a puppy dog, or a downward facing dog as you like. Recenter, reground, take a single breath. Maybe open mouth exhale. Good. And then inhaling as you kick your left heel straight out to the left. Straight out to the left. Like if you had a neighbor on your left, you'd be kicking them in the butt. Just notice that this is a little bit of a struggle, but give yourself a compassionate breath. Inhaling here. And exhale, tapping the knee over to the right elbow. Inhale, over to the left. Exhale, knee taps right elbow. One more time, inhaling. Exhale, give it a tap. And inhale, float your left heel up and back behind you. Bend the knee and roll the hip open. Swivel onto the right heel, so you're on the pinky toe blade of the right foot. You can stay there, or you can play with lifting your left fingertips off of the ground. Maybe both left leg and hand get a little hang time before you flip your dog into wild thing. Left bent knee finds the toes find the ground, and your left fingertips shine forward in front of you for 1 more breath. And exhaling as you place the left palm. Inhaling as you float the left heel up towards the sky. And this time we're going to exhale and tap the knee to the right elbow and kick the foot out underneath the arm. Landing the pinky toe blade of the foot down onto the ground. Your belly still square to the earth. And then begin to lift the hips up and back behind you. So the foot might drag back a little bit, but see if you can keep some activity in the toes so they're awake and alive. And again, the pinky toe blade of the foot pushes down into the ground to enliven the outer left leg, gallbladder channel. You just feel what you're feeling for 1 more breath. Let that be okay. Good, and inhale, wind that heel all the way up and back behind you. And as you exhale, place the heel to the inside of your left thumb, spinning the back heel down for Virabhadrasana 1. Again, look down the length of your mat to see that each leg has its own lane. Maybe the left foot needs to widen to the left. Inhale as you rise up. Square the belly to the front of the mat, and as you exhale next, backstroke the arms behind you, interlacing with your weird thumb on top. Weird thumb on top. Draw your left femur bone back into the left hip socket to square the pelvis forward, and inhale, puff your heart to the sky. Exhale as you bow to the inside of the front knee. And we're moving. Inhale as you rise. Exhale as you hinge. One more time, inhaling, rise. Exhale as you hinge. This time we're going to rise up, releasing the fingertips all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, arms come out into a T, and you're going to swivel to the left. You can stay here or spin the back heel up if that makes it a little more accessible. See if you can hook your right elbow over the left knee. Take your left hip and draw it down towards the ground. Outer left hip crease draws down towards the ground. And then maybe you find your prayer. If you're being very conscious about your front foot, you'll notice that the heel wants to buckle in towards the midline. So do what you can to draw your inner left heel back in space. Hug the belly in and up and twist. Some of us releasing the right hand down to the ground, left arm to the sky. Some of us moving into a half or a full bind. Strong in your back heel bone. Notice that you're compressed, but you can breathe a deeper breath if you try for 2. Looking down towards the ground, place the hands onto either side of the front foot, and inhale, stepping back into a plank, top of a push-up. We're just going to hold plank for a couple of breaths. Take your heels as wide as your hips. Feel the sides of the throat lifting to the ceiling, inhaling. And as you exhale, swivel both heels over to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. One more time each side, ride your breath. Good, inhaling, coming back to center. And exhale to lower the body halfway down. Inhaling, lifting your heart towards the sky. Pausing here as you push the tops of the feet down. As you push the hands down as well, feel that the sternum can lift towards the sky. One more breath. And exhaling to your downward facing dog in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, glide your right heel up and back behind you. And exhale, place the heel just to the inside of the right thumb. Virabhadrasana 1. Again, inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky. Pause and breathe here, tailbone forward. Sink a little more deeply into the front knee if you can. Good, and then straighten through the front leg. Take your right hand onto the right hip. Step your back foot in about 3 inches. So again, each leg has its own lane. That's super important for twisting triangle. Reach up through the left fingertips, inhale. And as you exhale, hinge forward, pulling your right hip back and taking the left hand down to the inside or outside of the front foot. Top hand comes onto the lower back, the sacrum. The heart draws forward and twist over to the right. Can you keep the anchoring in your back heel? The thing that you're not looking at, can you be conscious of it? Good. And then bending into the front knee, you're going to step forward into something like a twisting Ardha Chandrasana, lifting your back heel. Taking your right hand onto the small of the back and rolling your heart open to the right. Maybe the top arm comes up towards the sky, and maybe a couple of you bend the back knee and reach for the top of the foot. Gliding your heart more forward in space for 2. Heart forward for 1. Good. Placing the hands down at the top of your mat and make your way all the way back into downward facing dog. You can step straight back or take a vinyasa. In any case, I'll invite you to make your next breath a cleansing breath in through the nose and an open mouth exhale. Inhaling when you're ready. Glide your left heel up and back behind you. And exhale, place the heel to the inside of the left thumb, spinning the back heel down. Sweep the arms up to the sky. Sink deeply into the front knee as you root down into your outer right heel bone. One more breath, calm, ease. And rising up, take the hands onto the hips and step the back foot in just about 3 inches. Again, each leg has its own lane. Hips are square to the top of your mat. Left hand into the left hip, right arm up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale as you hinge forward. Physically pull your left hip back as the right hand reaches forward and then down to the inside or outside of the front foot. And if you're at the middle ground, you can grab onto the front of the ankle. Left hand finds the small of the back and we twist to the left. Maybe the fingertips lifting up towards the sky. Cultivating steadiness in the legs. You just want to feel the inseams of the legs hugging in towards each other, towards that sagittal midline for one more breath. Good, and then untwisting, softening into the front knee and taking your right fingertips forward. The right fingertips are going to be underneath the right shoulder, so not in front of the left toes necessarily. Lift the back heel. And then rotate the torso to the left. Any amount. You can stay here. Remember, if you feel wobbly, you can always look down to the ground, bending the back knee. Maybe you reach for the top of the foot with the left hand. If you have that in particular, press the foot back and open the heart forward. We're here for 2. And 1. Lengthen the leg back behind you, coming into either a vinyasa through your plank or straight back into a downward facing dog. From your dog pose, look forward and see if you can hop all the way forward through to a seat. If that doesn't happen the first 100 times you try it, who cares? Soles of the feet together, knees apart. You're going to lie down on your back, taking your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your belly. So once we offer ourselves compassion for whatever hardship might be finding us right now, we can offer that compassion out into the world around us. Noticing if judgments arise about how anybody is handling this situation, and remembering that it's difficult for everyone. So we'll just start off with a little metta, a loving kindness meditation. First directed towards yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Extending the arms and the legs for Shavasana when you're ready. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be well. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. May all beings be happy. Letting the weight of the body sink like a stone into the ground. If you'd like to set a timer for Shavasana, give yourself a few minutes to rest fully. The divine in me honors and salutes the divine in you and in all things. Namaste. Much love. We'll see you tomorrow, yogis.